The room was cold, sterile. A long steel table dominated the center, reflecting the single light source like a pool of ice. Around it sat 5 figures, their faces etched with worry. General Petrov, head of the GRU, cleared his throat. The sound was harsh like sandpaper on wood. "Comrades," he began, his voice low and gravelly, "we have a problem." He gestured to the file in front of each of them. Project Moonflower. The file contained grainy photographs, surveillance reports and intelligence briefings. At its heart lay a single terrifying truth. The Americans were developing a mind control program, and it was much more advanced than anything the Soviets had ever imagined. Commander David Reynolds stared at the file in front of him. Even for a man accustomed to danger, the mission parameters were chilling. Infiltrate a top-secret American facility, extract a scientist with knowledge of Project Moonflower, neutralize any threat. It was a suicide mission. Reynolds was the Soviet Union's most decorated operative, a shadow warrior forged in the fires of the Cold War. He was known for his tactical brilliance, his ice-cold nerve, and his unwavering loyalty. But even Reynolds felt a shiver of apprehension as he contemplated the task before him. Project Moonflower. The name itself sounded innocent enough, but the reality was far more sinister. The Americans had developed a way to implant thoughts, manipulate memories, even control actions. The implications were terrifying. With this technology, they could turn enemy agents, sow discord in the highest levels of government, even incite revolutions. The fate of the world, Reynolds knew, might very well hinge on his success. The training was brutal, relentless, designed to push Reynolds and his team to the very edge of their physical and mental limits. Hand-to-hand combat, weapons proficiency, infiltration tactics, psychological warfare. Every aspect of the mission was simulated, analyzed, and drilled to perfection. They trained in secret, cut off from the outside world. Their only companions were the biting wind of the Siberian wilderness and the ever-present threat of failure. Section 5, Infiltration. The infiltration was the most dangerous part of the mission. Reynolds and his team would be inserted deep into the American heartland, miles from any hope of extraction. They would have to rely on their wits, their training, and their unwavering faith in each other to survive. Under the cover of darkness, they crossed the border, their movements silent and swift. Every shadow held danger, every sound a potential threat. Section 6, Rendezvous. The rendezvous point was a deserted warehouse on the outskirts of a small town. It was a place of shadows and secrets, the air thick with the smell of dust and decay. Inside, a single figure waited, Dr. Natalia Rostova, the scientist who had defected from the American program. Fear flickered in Rostova's eyes as she saw Reynolds. She was a small, bird-like woman, her shoulders hunched as if from a great weight. In her hands, she clutched a briefcase, its contents the key to unraveling Project Moonflower. Section 7, the asset. Rostova's knowledge was both a weapon and a curse. She had seen the true potential of Project Moonflower, the terrifying ease with which it could be used to control the human mind. But she had also seen the faces of those who sought to wield that power, men and women driven by ambition and greed. She knew that her defection would not go unpunished. The Americans would stop at nothing to silence her, to prevent her knowledge from falling into the wrong hands. Section 8, Extraction. The extraction was a desperate race against time. As soon as the Americans realized Rostova was missing, they would lock down the entire area. Reynolds and his team would be hunted, their every move tracked by an enemy that seemed to know their every thought. They fought their way through roadblocks, evaded patrols, and disappeared into the vast American landscape, always one step ahead of their pursuers. Section 9, Fallout. The successful completion of Operation Moonflower sent shockwaves through the intelligence community. The world held its breath as the Soviet Union revealed the existence of the American mind control program, sparking outrage and fear in equal measure. The Americans denied everything, of course. But the damage was done. The seeds of doubt had been sown. Section 10, Legacy. Commander David Reynolds disappeared back into the shadows, his mission a success, his name whispered in hushed tones in the corridors of power. He had stared into the abyss of Project Moonflower and emerged victorious, but not unscathed. The experience had changed him, hardened him, leaving him with a profound understanding of the fragility of the human mind and the terrible power that could be wielded over it. He had saved his country, but at what cost?